Peace and love, creatives. Today is Sunday and it's like a super chill sketchbook day. So grab your warm beverage, a cup of ... whatever you want, and your favorite art supplies, fun sketchbook, and let's just get sketchy. Our first sketchbook idea is painting or sketching autumn, and basically it's just looking around you on an autumn day and seeing what sparks inspiration. The trees, the wind blowing, the leaves, the change in temperature, the nuts falling onto the ground, anything that just sparks creativity from autumn. Put on a piece of paper and there you go. I initially wanted to sketch a cottage here, but when I started sketching it, I just felt like putting a mushroom instead, and I love the idea, and I'm glad that I did it. In this sketchbook session, we're gonna be using a couple of different supplies, and I want to talk about them in the beginning and maybe a little bit more as I use them. I shortened this sketchbook session so that it wasn't too long, and I'm not sure if it was a good idea or a bad idea. So if you guys do want a longer sketchbook session, let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll put out a poll to maybe give you guys a voice as to how long they should be, or if I should keep them this long. So the art supplies that I'm going to use are the Artist Loft watercolor inks. I'm also going to be using Lyra water-soluble crayons. I'm going to use colored pencils that were gifted to me by the company Woomer. I'm also going to be using Cali Art alcohol markers mixed with a couple of Ohuhu markers as well. And lastly, I'm going to be using Arrtx acrylic paint markers for this sketchbook session. Now, do you need all of these supplies to have a successful sketchbook session? No. Are some of these supplies a little bit overboard? Yeah, especially the Lyra ones. Like, they're definitely on the higher price tier, and they are definitely less expensive water-soluble crayons out there. I just was curious about them, so I purchased them. Oh, I'm also using the Sharpie acrylic paint pens, which right here, while I color this squirrel in, that's a Sharpie paint pen, and right here I'm using the Higgins ink pen, which I love. Honestly, I got that in a subscription box years ago, and I definitely do enjoy using that. It's also refillable, which is nice because a lot of our art supplies that are made for us, they don't really have the environment in mind for the most part. Like, I would love for Posca to sell refill ink instead of making you purchase another barrel of ink. You know what I mean? Like, I think it would just be nice to not have to purchase a new entire piece of paint marker if I can just refill it with some ink and just save a little bit. I know it's just a little small footprint, but I think every little bit helps. At this point, I'm almost done with the inking part of this piece, which I am enjoying the ink, but putting it on this paper is like, it bleeds right through. Although I never use the back of these pages on the sketchbook because the paper is thin. so it's not suitable, but I just love the style of the paper so much that I'll take it. There's so many pages that it doesn't even, it doesn't faze me that I have to leave the back of the page unused. It's okay. Here are those Woomer pencils that I'm talking about. Now they're on the packaging it says good light fastness, soft core, artist quality, and saturated colors. I would take anything that's put on these packagings with a grain of salt. They don't even have the ASTM seal or anything like that, so I don't know how much you can trust anything that it says. But as far as the pencils are concerned, they're actually pretty good. They remind me of the Prismacolor crayon colored pencils, in the respect that they're very, like, they have a very pastel feel to them, and whether you like that or not is up to you. But I kind of go both ways as far as pencils are concerned. Like, I love me a nice good creamy pencil, I love me a nice good hard pointed pencil, but I also love a softer pastel-y kind of pencil too. I feel in my art journey and the way I use pencils, I need each and every one of those kinds of pencils at one point or another, depending on the piece that I'm working on. Because some pencils, when you're using them as color pencils, they're too shiny for me if you go too heavy with the coloring with them. And for me, in my opinion, these are not shiny at all. They're a very, very matte kind of a finish to them, the way I use them in my pieces. So it's my opinion, and also, this is the way I use color pencils. So I'm not a colorist. I don't solely use colored pencils in my art. So, you have to take that into consideration when you're looking at people, me, any other people reviewing or showcasing colored pencils or any kind of art supplies for that matter. Do they do art the way you do art? Do they use the art supplies that they have the way you use those art supplies if you have them, or if you would have them? And then you would have to make that educated decision for yourself. Is this something for me? Would I like these? Or, just are they fun to use? And go from there. I was, like I said, gifted these from the company. They do not need any kind of anything from me. They just wanted to send them to me, and I said sure. Initially they did want to showcase my artwork on a video of theirs, but I don't think so. I don't know the company, and I don't want my name on something that I don't know. You know what I mean? So there's that. Although the pencils are fun to use, and in a coloring book situation, or in my case, for embellishments on a piece, I think they're perfectly fine. So the next sketchbook idea is doing something we all do, which is consuming media, social media, anything. A show that we're watching, a book that we're reading, a short that we saw, a reel, anything. When you went shopping and there was a young person or an older person, whatever, and they caught your eye, and they were like, for some reason you enjoyed, whatever the outfit that they were wearing or how they were dressed, and you want to put that onto a piece of paper. I end up doing that a lot. I see these faces on these people, and either their face caught my eye, or the way they did their hair, or the fun outfit that they're wearing. Like, something catches my eye, and then I want to make art resembling that. Sometimes I can take a picture and it lasts longer, if you know what I mean, or sometimes I would have to go from memory and make my piece like that. In this case, it was actually a short that I was watching with a young lady who was able to keep her little pigtail puffs in a star shape, and I thought it was the cutest thing. So I took that idea of hers with these star puffs and put it onto my character. I also used the shirt that she wore and kind of like mimicked it a little bit on my character as well. But it was adorable, and I enjoyed making this piece so much. I think it came out so good, and the pencils were definitely very, very fun to use on this piece. The next idea is basically just having fun with your everyday nature items, like in this case, trees. And instead of making a tree like one would normally make it, I decided to make little circles and big circles and color them in, and those would be the leaves on the tree. And I just found it so fun and freeing because, you know, you don't have to worry about each individual leaf, and you don't have to make it look perfect because it's something that's coming from your imagination for the most part. So it can look as good as you want it to look, or as funny as you want it to look, or as silly as you want it to look. And that's what I did here. So all these ideas you can use, and you're more than welcome to do whatever you wish with any of the ideas that I put on these sketchbook sessions. I really enjoyed using the Lyra colored pencils. I feel like they, in my opinion, I don't think they're as good as the Caran d'Ache, but I do have to put them side by side to make that, 100% my opinion. I just feel like the Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2s are much more pigmented than these. But again, I haven't used them in a bit, so I will definitely have to see if that is in fact the case. It was really fun making this piece, and the little cat and the ghost in the background is just like, it's spooky season. We're in October, and why not throw a little black cat and a ghost in the background playing hide and go seek? And that's the fun of like the art supplies in itself. Like sometimes the art supply gives you the inspiration to be loose and silly with your piece. I want to thank you for watching. This was really fun to do. I hope that you enjoy these sketchbook sessions, and I hope to see you next time.